Hi y'all, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be taking a look at the 2021 Wonderland 222 planners and notebooks. So I have the B6 size and the A5 size, and then I also have the A5 2020 planner to compare it to, and the 2020 Hobonichi Cousin to compare it to. So let's take a look. So we have the B5 size, which is the pink. This is the color New Dawn. And this also comes in this teal color and then black. And then I have the A5 size in this Twilight, I believe it's called Twilight Forest. And this again also comes in the pink, and it also comes in black. You can get any of the cover colors in either of the sizes. So here are the planners. The covers are kind of this faux leather. Feels pretty silky and nice. They're relatively thin. They're not as rigid as the Hobonichi cover is. So the Hobonichi cover is very, very rigid and a very thick cardboard. These are a lot more pliable. And then compared to the 2020 had this kind of green crackly color. That was a little bit more rigid as well. And it's not smooth like the 2021 planners. And the 2020 only came in this green. So let's take a look at the inside. So in both planners, we start off with an index page and a key, and you get several pages of index in both sizes. And then you get into the 4-year spread. So it goes from 2020 to 2023, and you just have a year at a glance outline. After that, you have the yearly spread. So in the A5, it says yearly 2021, and in the B6, it says 2021 yearly spread. And you just have a little box for every day of the month, plus a little grid at the bottom, so you can write notes or do whatever you want with this spread. This is very similar to what's in the Hobonichi Cousin. We have the year at a glance spreads on the Hobonichi Cousin, but this is the Cousin avec, so I only have 6 months in this one. And then 6 months in the next part of the year. After that, we have the quarterly pages. So in both sizes, we have a month calendar. On the A5 size, it's just on 1 page. On the B6 size, it goes across to 2 pages, and then a section for notes for each month in the quarter. So this is the first quarter, so it's January, February, March. And then we have second quarter, third quarter, and fourth quarter. And then after the quarters, we get into the routine trackers and project timeline. So in both the A5 size and the B6 size, we have the routine tracker and project timeline. It starts in November 2020 because the planner actually starts in November of 2020, and it goes through December of 2021. So you have 12 months for the year plus 2 extra months to start off the planner. Okay. After that, we get into the monthly and weekly pages. So each month starts off with this overview page. We have a notes page, and then we have the November overview. This planner starts in November of 2020, so we have November 2020 through December 2021 in this planner. And then after that, we have the monthly calendar. So on the monthly calendar, in both the A5 size and the B6 size, and just so you can see it better, I'll show you the A5 size. We have each day of the month, and then we have 2 miniature calendars for the previous month and the next month. And then we get into the weekly spreads. So this planner starts October 26, 2020. So if you get it quick, you can start using it before the end of the year. And the weekly spreads in the B5 look very much the same with some minor differences. So the differences are you have less room for notes at the bottom, you get the same number of hours in the hourly, and you have less room for notes at the top. But other than that, the layout is the same in the B6 as it is in the A5. So how does the weekly compare to the Hobonichi Cousin? So one big difference is that in the Hobonichi Cousin, all of the months are together at the beginning, and then all of the weeks are together at the end. But in the Wonderland 222, the months are dispersed out throughout the year. So you'll have a month page and then the weeks for that month, and then another month's page and then the weeks for that month, and so on and so forth. So let's take a look at the differences between the Hobonichi and the Wonderland 222 for the month spread. So the month spreads are actually quite similar. So in the month spreads, you get this column on the left-hand side to write notes or whatever you want, and then you get the days, and the days are roughly the same width. So you can see that the Wonderland 222 days are just ever so slightly thinner than the Hobonichi. So the Hobonichi actually has a smaller grid size, but in the monthly view, the Wonderland 222 boxes are very slightly smaller. But I don't think it's small enough smaller that you couldn't use a Hobonichi sticker kit with the Wonderland 222, and I will be trying that out at some point. At the bottom, we get kind of a half day for the 30th because it falls on the next week and it's just a Sunday. So since November spans for 6 weeks, we just get this half day for the 30th. And in the Hobonichi, we also don't get a full box for the 30th. The other big difference is in the Hobonichi, the Saturday and Sunday are blue and pink, or blue and red. And in the Wonderland 222, the weekends are shaded. So let's take a look at how it looks in last year's Wonderland 222. So the notes bar has changed sides, but other than that, we have basically the same layout in the 2020 and the 2021. Okay, so how does the weekly compare to the Hobonichi Cousin? All right, so the week is where this planner really starts to diverge from the Hobonichi Cousin. So in the Hobonichi Cousin, we have an 8-column layout, and in the Wonderland 222, we have a 6-column layout with Saturday and Sunday sharing 1 column. So you don't get a full column for the weekend. With the Hobonichi Cousin, you get a full column for each day. However, in the Wonderland 222, the columns are quite a bit larger than in the Hobonichi. So I have some measurements here, and it says that the weekday column is 43 millimeters wide. So this is 43 millimeters, and this is considerably smaller than 43 millimeters. In addition, the grid spacing throughout the books is larger in the Wonderland 222 than it is in the Hobonichi. So the grid spacing in the Wonderland 222 is 3.9 millimeters, and the grid spacing in the Hobonichi is 3.7 millimeters. So I have medium-sized handwriting, and I always found the Hobonichi Cousin to be a little bit small of a grid size for me. My handwriting is much more comfortable in the Wonderland 222. So if you have medium to large handwriting, the Wonderland 222 might be a little bit more comfortable for you. We also have a miniature calendar in the Hobonichi that we do not have in the Wonderland 222. So the miniature calendar was actually present in the 2020 Wonderland 222, down here at the bottom, below Saturday and Sunday, but they took it out for 2021. So Saturday and Sunday have more room now. And I think that was a good choice. I would much prefer to have larger boxes for Saturday and Sunday than I would to have this miniature calendar. And I almost always covered it up with a sticker or with some washi tape anyway. So I like that change personally. So we have more week pages, and then we get into November review and December overview. So I really like having the review and the overview pages. I find it to be a good place to do a review of the month and then some goal setting for the next month. and then we get into the December monthly. And the rest of the year follows along in that pattern. After the weekly spreads, we get blank undated pages. So after December review, we launch into the blank undated pages, and they are all of this layout. And again, the B6, wherever I put it. The B6 pages in the back are going to be the same layout. You have, in the A5, it goes from 1 to 24, so you could have a timeline here if you wanted to use this for, say, time blocking or to have your daily page. And then we have this upside down T shape to split this into thirds, or roughly thirds. The bottom portion is larger than the two top portions, but otherwise it's just a very light grid. So personally, I just use these pages for miscellaneous writing, notes. If I'm doing some sort of like goal setting exercise, I'll do it in the back. So I don't use these as daily pages, but there is a spot for you to put the date at the top if you would like to use it as a daily page. And it does say daily down in the corner here. Now that brings us to the notebooks, which I will address really quickly. So here's the A5 notebook. And in the notebook, it's meant to be a daily notebook, so we have 365 pages in it, and they are all that undated daily page that the planners have in the back, except for each pages like this in the notebook. So you could use this as a daily planner, or as I do, just use it as a plain notebook. The numbers and this little sectioning lines here are light enough that you can just ignore them and write right over them and you won't even notice it. So the B5 notebook is similar, except for this time we have 5 to 24 instead of 1 to 24. So it starts at 5 a.m. and goes to midnight. We again have that T-shaped section divider and a place for the date. All the pages in both the B6 and the A5 are numbered. And in the beginning of the notebook, you get some index pages that don't count towards the 365 pages in the notebook. You also get a key page. So those are the notebooks. So the notebook is slightly thicker than the planner. So this one's the planner, this one's the notebook. The notebook has 365 pages. I believe the planner has 200 something pages, 288 pages in it. So the notebook has more pages than the planner, but you don't get the printed weekly on it. So let's talk about the paper. So the paper in both the 2020 and the 2021 Wonderland 222 paper planners and the notebooks, as well as the Hobonichi Cousin, are Tomoe River paper. So it's a very thin paper, but it holds up well to ink. You can write on it with fountain pen and it won't bleed through. However, Tomoe River recently changed their machinery, so the 2021 paper is actually a little bit different than the 2020 paper. So I haven't tried it yet, and we're going to do a pen test together today. So let's just do this in the back of the planner. And Wonderland 222 has a whole blog post about the changes in the paper, so I will link that down below if you want to read their take on the new paper. We're just going to do a pen test. I have a Tombow brush pen here. So this is one of the darkest colors, which loves to bleed through paper. I have a Custom 74 with platinum carbon black in it. I have a mild liner brush pen. I have a Crayola Super Tip, also a dark color. I have a regular mild liner. I have a Lamy Studio with Noodler's Cactus Fruit Eel. I have a Pilot Decimo with Diamine Earl Grey. And I have an extra fine Lamy Studio with one of the wettest inks I have, which is Diatramenta's Fog Gray. So that ink just loves to bleed. So just right off the bat looking at this, it still has the nice shading. I can notice on the Cactus Fruit Eel that you would expect from Tomoe River paper, so that's nice. Let's see if any of it bled. And it does not look like we had any bleed through. Of course, we have shadowing. Tomoe River paper is famous for shadowing, but we do not have any bleed through, which is excellent. So I personally don't mind shadowing. I like the thin pages because you can pack more pages into a single notebook than you can with thicker pages. And I actually really like the kind of lived-in look that Tomoe River paper gets once you write all over it. So that's the pen test. I hope you enjoyed this review. Please subscribe and like this video if you enjoyed it. I usually make plan with me videos, but I will also am looking to do more planner reviews, especially on planners like this, which I love and will absolutely use in my day-to-day life. So if you have any questions on the notebook, feel free to leave a comment down below. And I will also link to the Wonderland 222 Facebook page, which is very active and fantastic for asking questions about the notebooks. The owners of Wonderland 222 are active in the group. They talk about what they're planning next, like they might be doing an A5 notebook and planner next, which would be very exciting. So if you're interested in the planner, highly recommend joining the Facebook page, see what other people are doing with it, and see if it would be a good fit for you. So thank you again for watching. Bye.